Well, the second game of preseason for Real Madrid has concluded. Also, the third game for Manchester United has concluded. Real Madrid has known the victory, 2-0 versus Manchester United. Let's start right now the analysis post-game. Muy buena, mi gente, aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de Fútbol con Bamba.
Dentro del área, golpea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome everybody, and here we go. This is Fútbol con Bamba, and I wanted to just touch a little bit of basis about what happened today in the game. And we saw that this game between Manchester United and Real Madrid was one of the games that people had in their calendars. Obviously, the Clásico is the game that everybody wants to see. However, today was one of the games that actually Real Madrid and Manchester United was really looking forward. First of all, because Varane and Casemiro was their first match to be able to meet up with Real Madrid. And one of the things that also we were seeing is how Jude Bellingham was going to be able to solve a second game with Real Madrid. We saw how phenomenal he was for the first game. We wanted to see exactly how he was going to react to the second game. Now, he did not disappoint. He did not disappoint. And one of the big long passes that actually came to him, drives it to the right, give a little header over Onana, and scores the first goal, starting the game. This was amazing, a really good goal. This is a good start for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is not known for scoring a lot of goals. However, if this is the path that he might be getting because the great opportunities that are going to be served, I think Jude Bellingham, watch out, he's going to be magic. Now, one thing that Jude Bellingham actually brought to the game today was he was completely magic and he was game. There's some players that actually dress Real Madrid shirt and it's too heavy for them. We saw it at the Hazard. We've seen it with a lot of players that they put their jersey on and it just becomes too heavy of a burden for them. However, this young prospect of Jude Bellingham is not. This kid is actually showing why he was worth over 100 million euros to be able to be acquired by Real Madrid. This kid has shown the first two matches that he's game, that he's magic, that he brings something completely different for the game and for the team of Real Madrid. Now, this is going to be interesting to see him. Not only him, Fran Garcia also had a phenomenal day today. He was fast, going on offensive and defensive. He was consistently trying to acquire the ball. Vinicius denied him a little bit of ball passing towards him. However, he did show immense speed. So it's going to be great news. He actually showed up a lot better than when Mendy showed up in the game. So that's great news for this young prospect. I think eventually he's going to win that battle head-to-head versus Mendy. But we have to see. Some people are actually just saying that Fran Garcia just have to slow down a little bit and understand that he's already in Madrid. He has nothing to prove. He just got to play his game because they're saying that he's too anxious, that he's trying to give it all the time. But hey, we saw Fede do this at the beginning and Fede won the heart from Real Madrid. So I think Fran Garcia is doing a phenomenal job. He's doing great. And we cannot expect something less from him. Now, let's go to another new player joining Real Madrid this year, which is Brahim Diaz. He actually entered in the second half of the game today, and he was participating partially. He did kind of disappear. He was looking a little bit weaker versus the bigger bodies against him, but it's preseason. Let's give him a little time. I don't think from all the four new kids that actually came in, this is the one that actually has the lesser grade right now. Well, we have to say that Nico Paz actually came in for Vinicius in the 77. He did not show much today. However, we know this is a youth player. This is a player that it's playing in the second division team for Real Madrid, but he's getting the opportunity and the exposure in the first team. So I'm not going to be able to, criticize him as much because I've seen how great he is. And I think that Toni Kroos actually has been requesting for him to start playing regularly or practice at least a lot with the first division team. Now, let's talk about Joselu because Joselu today actually gave a bicycle kick. He did score an amazing goal. At the beginning, he started with 3 misses towards the goal, 3 easy goals that I think it should have been his, but he did the important one. He actually jumped up, did the bicycle, scored the goal, and that's how he does welcome to Real Madrid once back, or welcome back, because he is part of the youth development of Real Madrid. He has scored already with Real Madrid. He did it on his debut the first time that he played when he was 18 years old, and now he just had to come back and score the first goal also with the Real Madrid. So hopefully he will be able to put a lot of scores, and this is not going to be the only one that we're going to be celebrating by him. Now, let's talk a little bit about the match, because the first half, Real Madrid actually showed a lot of speed, a lot of determination. They showed a lot of velocity in the game, putting on the heels Manchester United. I think Manchester United, initially, when they saw that Real Madrid was overwhelmingly defending high defense and attacking at a fast pace, they were just saying, you know what, they're going to get tired. Let's just hold on. Let's wait up. Let's keep contacting, try to maintain possession as much as we can. However, this cost them because their defense was actually going up a little bit higher than they should have. And that's why Bellingham actually won the behind of Bisaka and scored over Onana, which Onana had an amazing day, because if it wasn't for Onana, I think Manchester United would have chewed up around 5 goals at least, because Vinicius was on fire today. What an incredible player this kid is. This kid shows speed. This kid started playing through the midfield. This kid started playing to the right side. This kid started playing to the left side. There was no stopping him. He was consistently going. Not only that, he got 4 defenders at one of the shots. Boom, he ran over them. He went over, he had 2 defenders, and he actually made like he was going to center it, and boom, boom, he does a double touch and shooting, and Onana was away. If it wasn't because Onana's a great goalkeeper, he would have chewed that goal up right now. So, you know, what an amazing player for Vinicius. I'm looking forward for this season, because he's looking better and better every year, and I think his roof is very high, and he's going to be able to achieve it eventually. I cannot wait until we start seeing him at his top of his game. Now, one player that actually a little bit disappointing for me today, however, he did not grade low, it was Rodrigo Goes. Rodrigo Goes and Luka Modric, for me, was actually the 2 players that I will margin to the side, saying that they did not have the best day, at least, playing. I think Rodrigo Goes spent a lot of time invisible in the game. He started a little bit at the beginning, trying to make some plays, crossing over with Vinicius, making some crisscross in the forward section, trying to create plays, using speed, using pass. However, he did not show up a lot as he did in the first match. Then we talk about a little Luka Modric. Luka Modric actually started this game. He, at the beginning, started giving some passes, started moving the ball, started controlling, but you know, it was a Bellingham, and actually Bellingham overshadowed Luka today. And Luka did demonstrate, at least today, we're not going to jeopardize on him. He's not going to have every game phenomenal, but what we did see today about Luka is that Luka's a little bit step back and is starting to feel a little bit the age. However, that was just the second match. On the first match, he actually showed up that he was the Benjamin Button that he's always been. So, like I said, this is preseason. We're not going to judge him too much. He just didn't show up today as he usually does. Now, let's talk about another player that actually showed up and one that didn't show up, and that's what we're talking about, Ferland Mendy and Fran Garcia. I'm not saying that Ferland Mendy did a bad day today. I think he did a worse day the first time that he went out on the first game against AC Milan, but today he did have a decent game. I think he actually did his job. He was defending well. He was moving the ball well. He was being in position. It's just that when you see a young player like Fran Garcia moving up and down consistently, using the speed, using his legs, using everything, it's just difficult to compete against the youth like that. And I'm not saying Ferland Mendy is not youth, because Ferland Mendy is very young. He's under 24, but you know, he's just measuring up against this kid that is just have more skills than him, basically. So we're going to see how Ancelotti actually matches up. I think eventually Fran Garcia will win that battle, but we'll see how that goes. Now, today on the right defensive side, first game, Lucas Vázquez did a phenomenal job. I think Carvajal did a decent job, but Lucas Vázquez won that match, that first match. However, today, Carvajal started in the first half. Carvajal had a phenomenal job, definitely, over Lucas Vázquez. I think Garnacho was actually on hold when Carvajal was on the game, and then he just went loose when Lucas Vázquez. Maybe unfair, because he probably didn't have as much possession when he played against Carvajal, but that was because also Real Madrid was moving the ball a lot faster. But every time Garnacho was creating danger in the box, Carvajal was able to intercept that or stop be able to bleeding and be able to salvage that bleeding from there. Well, something that actually Lucas Vázquez was having a little bit more difficulty today. Now let's talk about the center backs. What do we think about the center backs? I think David Alaba had a great game. I think Rudiger played phenomenal game also today. And Militao actually showed up at 1 or 2 plays in the second half. He didn't have too much participation in that point. However, he did show up. Nacho was struggling a little bit. However, Nacho still represented, did a good job on the defensive side. And let's talk about the midfield, because I think midfield, Real Madrid has 2 squads. This is incredible about the midfield. Camavinga played the whole game. You saw Tchouaméni today showing off. Toni Kroos, stellar like the first game also as well. You know, and then you have Jude Bellingham. He's a dime. He's just a diamond and still needed to be robust and pure down completely, but he is shining. And then, of course, Fede Valverde today entered in the second half. He didn't have as much explosiveness and didn't appear as much as the first game. However, we know that Fede Valverde is on point. He's doing well. And today he didn't shine as much, but he still participated. He was still defending. He was still moving the defenders. And he was creating danger because he had 2 shots at least to go right away. Now, Brahim Diaz, as I said, in the forwards, I think Vinicius Jr. and Joselu did their job today as a forwards. I think Rodrigo and Brahim Diaz actually left a little bit more undesired at that point, but that's okay. Now, from the Manchester United area, I think Bruno Fernandes was completely overwhelmed today. He was just frustrated. He was hitting every player. Lisandro Martinez was just being beat down by Jude Bellingham. He started hitting. He actually got a yellow card because he almost broke or he put in jeopardy Jude Bellingham for several times when he was sliding against him and losing the timing to slide him and making very aggressive attacks, sliding tackles to Jude Bellingham. Now, on the defensive side, I think Wan-Bissaka, he did a phenomenal job as overall. He just struggled a little bit in that first goal against Bellingham, but then after that he caught up. He was covering his ground. He was doing his job. The defense of Manchester United was playing a little bit too high. I think the guy who actually has my hat off today was Garnacho. Garnacho did a phenomenal job. I think Casemiro started putting a little bit of pressure at the beginning, but then he struggled. He actually got overwhelmed also today and got carried off. He was invisible in the games in the match day today. Varane actually started stopping a little bit in the second half. However, Varane also was a little bit disappeared. I think Maguire actually did a little bit more job than Varane in the second half. But what we got to say about Manchester United, I think they got a squad that is going to be very dangerous. They're going to be very performance. I think they're going to be very aggressive. They have a good squad. Shaw is participating. Garnacho was playing pretty good. I think you know, McTominay was actually doing his job today also as well. And then, you know, Wan-Bissaka, as I said, also, they were all participating. They were looking for the job. Anthony had like numerous amount of opportunities. He kept missing a lot. I think Anthony, he needs to calibrate himself a little bit. When as soon as he starts getting that left foot to actually calibrate and hit more towards the goal, I think he's going to be a lethal weapon. He's going to score a lot of goals for Manchester United. However, this was a phenomenal game. I think this is what we want to see, at least in the preseasons. It's 2 great matches, AC Milan and Manchester United for Real Madrid. And it's been 3 great matches for Manchester United. They had Arsenal, Olympique Lyon, and they have Real Madrid. So I think this has been phenomenal preseasons for both teams. Nothing can be sold. That doesn't matter if you lose or win in here. Doesn't show much because you do so much rotations and everything. You just want your team to actually start binding and be in a formation. One thing that I have to observe, and this is my last comment that I'm going to say about the game today, is actually the physical attributes of conditioning. I think I was expecting the Manchester United was actually going to be a little bit more physical and better prepared than Real Madrid. However, it seems that Pintus is doing a phenomenal job of Real Madrid because they look sharp. They look ready. They did get a little gassed, but that's natural. It's preseason. I'll bet you for the next game, they be holding a little bit more. And by the time 4th game comes up, their game already, they're ready for 90 minutes. So it's going to be, for the next 2 weeks, they're going to be okay. This is going to be fine. And Real Madrid looks like a very sharp, and they're ready for the season. Manchester United looks ready for the season. So this is going to be an interesting matches, seeing on both leagues, these both teams. Now I'm going to start getting ready to go see Barcelona versus Arsenal. Looking forward for that. So if you like this video, hit the comment button, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you until next time. Football Roman. Ciao!